Oh, two.
All right, everyone, welcome. We're just gonna wait a minute or two as people log in. We're expecting a pretty close group or tight-knit group here. And with that, I always want to start by inviting you to comment in the chat your name, where you're calling in from, if you want, your title or what you're doing, what kinds of products you're working on, just about anything you want to share. It's really important to do this up front because I find that, and this is true, by the way, you should take this to your meetings. If you kick off any meeting saying something, the bar will be much lower in your mind for asking the questions or voicing the opinions that actually matter. So this isn't ask me anything. That means we really want to hear your voices. So this is the opportunity to please go in chat and just type in your name. Everybody, I can even see all of your names, so this should be pretty easy to do.
Yep, I'll start. I'm in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh, Roger, leading by example. Love it.
Absolutely. Always. That's the way we do this. Let's see. I'm going to open
All
the
right, everyone. So we'll just get started. Welcome to our webcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how do I advance my product management career. This is, I think, a top question on just about every product manager's mind, regardless of whether or not you're starting out or mid or late career. So always worth asking. And today you'll be hearing from myself and Roger. So for me, my name is Rina Alexin. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the CEO of Productside. Been with the company now for the past 8 years, really furthering our mission to help product leaders at small and large organizations to do product better. And Roger is going to be our expert in the room.
Oh, you will add a lot to this
Roger, why don't
conversation
you
as
introduce
well.
yourself?
Yes, will do. You'll be adding a lot of wisdom as well. After 8 years with us, you're like a product manager. Um, yeah, so I'm Roger Snyder. I've been with Productside coming up on 10 years. It'll be 10 years this summer. And before that, ran product management teams in Silicon Valley for 20 years. Over these last 9+ years, I've had the opportunity to work with folks in a variety of different industries from stormwater drain systems to advanced medical devices to insurance to tractors, just lots of exciting variety in this job. So I love learning more about different industries and their product management needs. So yeah, a little bit about me. And like I said, based in Santa Cruz Mountains, father of four girls, and they're all out of the house and productive now, which is great.
Well, my two boys are not out of the house whatsoever. They're both under three. So, and
Right.
welcome, Amina Rose. I saw you posted. I'm also now an Austin, Texas resident, and I love it here. So, welcome. For those of you joining again, please just pop in your name into the chat. That makes it easier for you to ask questions as we continue on.
Absolutely. And having those little kids, Rena's exposed to every germ on the planet. So
Yes, thank you. Good segue to me putting a cough drop, taking a cough drop. Um, minded, I do have a little bit of a cough, but we'll see. And Roger, you're here to cover me if I need to go off camera momentarily. All right.
absolutely.
So, for those of you who do not know about Product Side, we are an outcome-driven product partner. And for if any of you are working at, have a team that you're managing or working at a larger organization, you know that it takes much more than hearing content to make change happen. In fact, nowadays you can get content from ChatGPT, Claude, just about anywhere. What we do differently is we provide a complete solution for transformation. That means we run deep diagnostics and assessments to understand current state, plan out future state, craft training programs specifically tailored to the challenges and the context of the clients we serve. And they are all led by invested experts, such as Roger Snyder here, who are just fantastic at what they do. They just absolutely love what they do.
Hmm.
And so having that invested expert be a true guide on your journey to doing product better, it's, I think, a cornerstone of what makes product side truly special.
Yeah, and the thing I like to emphasize is that we are invested. We want you to succeed. We're passionate about that. We love it when we have multi-year engagements with clients and can actually see the evolution, see the change. It's so much fun.
All right. So today we're running a different kind of webinar for those of you who join us. Normally we're here and we're going to discuss some content or some interesting topics. But today is really about you. So thank you for joining, and thank you for many of you. I recognize your names because you actually submitted questions. But for those of you who are joining us live, this is about answering your questions. So the way that it's going to work, please raise your hand if you want to ask a question. We'll be able to get you up as a, I think we have to do it as like you're going to be turned into a panelist. You'll be able to ask your question, stay on while we discuss the answer. Maybe you have some follow-ups. And then once you lower the hand, you'll be back as an audience member. So please do not, if you don't want to do that, you can always use the other options that are available to you, which is to chat or ask in the Q&A button. But I really want to encourage you to not be afraid, and we don't bite. So
No.
raise your hand and we can get you up.
Absolutely. All
I
right.
think these are just genuine. I mean, at this point, I do hope people know,
Great.
if you're muted, unmute yourself, turn your camera on. The ways that you get the audio and video are those little arrows. At this point, I hope this is just a friendly reminder that you
Right.
all know how to use the audio and video tools.
It's second nature at this point, right?
Yes. And if you haven't yet, join our LinkedIn group. This is a great group. It has, I think, well over 60,000 members at this point. I see the posts, there are new posts there daily of people sharing their thoughts and wisdom. It's a great place if you want to practice sharing your own leadership best practices or reading about them, discussing some of these questions as well. I see some of the questions that were asked today are very much asked by the LinkedIn group as well. And this is also a great place to network with your peers. I always find with LinkedIn, it's really about making connections, and this is just one way to find your people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get into that community of practice, learn from each other. It's fantastic.
All right, so we're not going to have too many polls. Actually, I think this is the only
This is the only
one.
one. Yeah, yeah.
But this is another way to kind of kick it off to see
hmm
what do you struggle with the most as a product manager. And if you want to select all, unfortunately you can't. You have to pick the one that matters the most to you.
hmm
And a lot of these come from also our own understanding and research that we've done. Unclear roles and responsibilities, difficulty understanding customer or market needs, too much time spent on firefighting, those daily fires. It's hard to make product decisions stick. That's a common one. And just not even being sure if the product is successful or not maybe not having the data
hmm
to make that judgment call.
It is hard to
So
see that. Yeah. All right. Great response. So let's end the poll and let's share the results. There we go. You can see number one, unclear roles and responsibilities. Like it was that's why it was my first choice on the list, right? And so, yep.
it's the first one that comes up every single time. 10 out of
hmm
10,
That's
basically
right.
100% of the time, it comes up.
hmm
Unclear roles and responsibilities. We are fighting the good fight at Productside to create clarity at organizations as well. But
hmm
if you mark this one, you are not alone. I am heartened though, Roger, by seeing not sure if my product is successful or not has not been checked. So
Yes,
well done, everyone. That's a
that's awesome.
pretty much important one.
Hard to understand customer needs, hard to make decisions stick. Yeah. And of course, and I actually a little heartened that too much time spent on firefighting was lower as well. That's actually kind of encouraging. I like that. Excellent.
Maybe
All right.
there's just enough time spent on firefighting. There are definitely fires all the time.
Oh yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
so now we are entering into our Q&A. This is the heart and soul of our Ask Me Anything. Roger, I don't think we need to share a screen for this.
Okay, yeah, I'll turn that off.
Okay.
Very good.
Great. And I'm going to start by saying that we did receive a number of questions from audience members, several of you, and some of those who just submitted. But if I see your name and if it's relevant, I am going to invite you. And so I'm going to give you just a second to know that you're getting called up. Kevin, Courtney, I see you have joined us today. And the first section of questions we want to tackle have to do with AI because no surprise, they were very common and well received by many people. So, Kevin, if you want to talk, can you raise your hand and let me know? But I'm going to ask your question and I'm going to invite you if you want to add to it. But Kevin asks, how do you see the rise of AI impacting the roles and responsibilities of product managers today and in the future? And Kevin, thank you for joining us. Do you want to add to this question? Oh, I think you are muted.
Yeah, he was unmuted, I thought, but
Hey, is
there
There
we
you
go.
are.
that better?
Yeah,
That's it.
I'll even go video.
Wonderful. Lead by example, right?
All right. Oh, that works.
there we are.
And when I pushed the button to switch, it said, "Do you want to switch to panelists?" And I did. It
Yes, you
turns you
have
off
to.
for a minute. So
Yes.
um, could you just finish the words that you might have had leading into the question?
Yes, sure. So you asked, how do you see the rise of AI impacting roles and responsibilities of product managers today and in the future? That was your question. Do you want to
Yes.
add to it, give some context around it?
So I have been a software product builder for many years, since the probably the early 80s, mostly working on big uh, enterprise class solutions for industries and things like that. And I've also been very much involved in using AI. Um, and now we see the confluence, the intersection of these happening. And so, where is this? Is this going to now do the same thing that's done in other parts of the industry, which is taking kind of the entry level folks and almost
Mm,
doing away with them or dramatically reducing them? And how are we going to be able to use AI to, especially as it evolves, to make our products better and faster and more responsive?
Hmm.
So I see all those things happening, but I'm not sure exactly what the rest of the world sees.
Right. And it's an interesting question, Kevin, too. Will broaden the perspective for product managers who aren't in software as well, right? So it is the next technological revolution for sure, right? This is definitely a disruption, like mobile was before, but even I think with even broader scope. Um, the impact of using AI every day as a product manager, I'm trying to take this in a couple of different parts. First, I want to say every product manager should be becoming AI fluent. You want to be using AI in all of your activities. One of the other questions we got was like, what's the one thing, I think it was Sunny said, what's the one thing I need to be using AI for as a PM? Don't limit yourself. I want you to use the AI for all of the activities and tasks you do. And it is not just about speeding things up, it's also about improving the quality of your work. It's about broadening your thinking, right? The exciting thing about AI, I've been in this industry 30 years as well, and I've forgotten some things. And AI helps remind me of tools I may have forgotten about, of ideas just in terms of brainstorms. So it
So, Roger,
increases. Yeah.
how about reading that 50-page document?
Yes.
And now I've done this now on a number of times. 50-page document written in tight legalese, and the language is so. And I turn it over to AI and I say, "You need to tell me these four things." And bang, it's
Right.
done and it's documented, and there's footnotes so that I can go back into the document and check to see whether it's right on target.
Absolutely. And in that case, you've got high quality typically with the AI because it's drawing from that resource, right? You're hitting on the next thing that I want to talk about, though, is that AI actually raises the bar for a critical product management skill, and that's critical thinking. You
mm,
cannot just take the output of AI and paste it somewhere else and say, I'm done. You must still apply your critical thinking. Like you pointed out, you get references. In the case of the example of reading a 50-page document, it's great because the fidelity is going to be pretty high typically, right? But AI makes stuff up, right? It they like to say hallucinate. I prefer fiction, right? But
And
AI writes
product
fiction.
managers make stuff up too.
Well,
So
that's
let's,
true. Yes. Less and less so, though, if you can use AI to actually do market research. But we'll talk about that in a second. My point is, you've got to become a better critical thinker when you're employing AI. It can make things go way faster. But if it isn't a simple thing like reading a 50-page document where that resource is readily available, if it is doing market research by going out on the web or answering
Mhm.
questions or trying to gather information from your SharePoint files, it still makes mistakes. You must stay in the loop. You must look at everything it provides you, tweak it, make it your own. I know you can write a skill now where Claude can actually write in your style. Great.
Right.
That also helps you get better, right? But at the end of the day, it's your name on whatever you're doing, right? And you've got to therefore be a much better critical thinker. And that's a critical aspect of being a great product manager, right? To your other point about making things up, we can be so much more data driven now by being able to use AI to do research for us. Competitive analysis, voice of the customer research, general market segmentation. All of those capabilities are so much easier. I'm jealous, honestly, of product managers now in 2026. When I had to do market segmentation, I won't tell you how many decades ago, boy, it was a hard thing to do. And if a
Yep.
report from Gartner didn't have the information you had, it was going to take you potentially weeks to find the information you needed to come up with the actual valuable approach, right? So you're lucky you got this research, but you then have to still double check all of that stuff. You still have to follow good practices of multiple sources. Don't just take AI as one source either, and double check the sources, like you were talking about, Kevin, of what were the links, right? And
Mhm.
now I find sometimes it tries not to tell me the links. I'm like, no, no, no. I need all the sources. Show me the information where you got this from. Because half the time it used to be that the AI would reference a web page that was a part of the argument. I go to that web page, can't find the information that it says was on that web page, right? So you've got to be a much better critical thinker. But yes, AI just gives you so much more power, particularly in discovery. So I'm excited about these opportunities.
So I want to go to the original question, Kevin, and say, because I talked to a lot of, I mean, we talked to a lot of product leaders who are trying to
Mhm.
wrestle with the, what does the role look like? And at Productside, we are also creating our own, um, I suppose creating not just research, but like creating our own, I'll call it an opinion because these things change so quickly.
Mhm.
But in terms of the role, a lot of product leaders are trying to understand, well, what happens between the three-legged stool of engineering, product, and design. And we saw it come out yesterday that Coinbase argued for it being one role. And I find that to be quite challenging for most people to do all three of those roles well. So I do believe that right now, in the short term, there's going to be a lot of mess around trying to understand and answer that question. And different product leaders are wrestling it with it in very different ways. What I am hearing consistently about the role is that certain aspects of what is seen as product work can be seen can be delegated to AI. Some of it can, and they
Mhm.
are trying to identify those aspects that should be. A lot of it is more execution related, so more related to the product owner, typically product owner role. But what I see in terms of the future is that the kind of like what Roger just said, critical thinking, those like core strategic skill set of the product manager, that becomes even more important with AI because AI cannot manufacture strategy. It can only be a leverage point for what you already are doing for your thinking process. And to your point about early career product managers, is this going to get away with the early career product managers? I think that's dangerous in a number of ways. One is that if you are early career and you're told you just need to use AI so that you can act like a mid or later career person, you're going to make a lot more mistakes because the AI is not going to fix it for you. It's just
No.
going to amplify what you know. And since you need to get that experience, I do think that is kind of like the concept of early career product manager plus AI equals a senior product manager does not exist. But if your question is, does that mean that people will not hire early career product managers? I don't see that being the case. I don't see that being the case right now. It's hard to again predict that in the
Yeah,
future.
I see it more along the lines of if you take like the legal model and you look at senior legal senior lawyers, and then in their firm they've got a bunch of associates that run around doing all the research and all the legwork behind the scenes. And now what they're finding is if they're using various types of AI under various circumstances, they can reduce the number of associates that they need from a
Hmm.
lot to a few. And so that just makes it more challenging for people entering the field and entering the industries. And if the same thing happens in the world of product management, a lot of the work that happens that you might delegate down to more junior people, if AI handles a lot of that, then it just reduces the number of entry points into product management as so
Right.
that as people try to grow and in their career, and enhance their career, you just don't, you don't walk in being business savvy right out of college. It takes some time and it takes some experiences and some wins and some losses to get there.
Right.
I
Absolutely
mean,
agree.
the same right now in sales, the same kind of conversations happening with sales around if you
Absolutely.
can
Yeah.
automate like a outbound call rep, then how are
Mhm.
they going to get the reps to understand how do I get
Mm-hmm.
customer needs out? Um, I do think that, and to another question that we received, there is a general pyramid, I'll call it that, of roles. We tend to think about, early career being so many of them, but if you think about it, there's just as many early career people as middle career people as later career people. So there are still roles for people across their career,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't you end up finding roles that suit your skill set. I do think though, Kevin, I agree with you that in general I do think there will be more pressure on the younger generation to get more strategic thinking skills earlier.
Yeah.
And that's
And let's come
yeah.
back to a point that you made that I think needs to maybe be also looked at, which is you said something along the lines of it's not going to produce a strategy. It's not going to produce a business strategy.
Mhm.
It may not produce a business strategy today or tomorrow, but I assure you, in the near future, there will be AI that will come in and it will be very well schooled in how to produce business strategies. And so even some of us on the senior level of the product management spectrum might be feeling the heat there.
Mhm. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that
So
is
we can
true.
talk also about I think what you're articulating is essentially the fear of AGI, complete AGI, where it is just better at every part of thinking than us, in which case humanity has this existential need to find the next frontier. I am
Mhm.
bullish on humans because
Yeah,
we tend to always find the next frontier. But in the short, let's just call it the next few years, college graduates, I actually think, have a edge in that they are playing with technology. They grew up with technology, and I think the learning curve with AI is actually flatter or like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's faster. You can
Quick.
learn faster, but
Yeah.
you do need core fundamentals, really strong core fundamentals, and you don't get that without reps and experience.
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree.
Sorry,
Mhm.
Roger.
No problem. And you got to create that pipeline to the point of you can't just make senior product managers, right? So companies that are being thoughtful about this are going to hire AI first folks, and they are going to probably accelerate in their career, but there's no substitute for some experience and time spent doing this kind of work. No question about that. There's been a lot of conversations in so many podcasts about product managers dying. Wait, we need more product managers than ever, right? In one of the more recent podcasts is like because engineering is moving so much more rapidly, they can get so much more done more quickly. They actually need more folks to be guiding them. And yes, there is this possibility of creating the hybrid roles, the super enabled folks who can do multiple things. I think that is interesting, but there's this taste. Product taste is also a phrase that I'm hearing a lot of. And that's not something that you just one day wake up as an engineer and say, I want to now be a product manager. You need some of the multifunctional experience in order to develop product taste. And that product taste is going to be a critical ingredient to being successful in a product role.
So,
Now,
Kevin,
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. I know we have other questions we want to get to, but this was the big one. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we gave you a clean answer, but I suppose I'm going to reiterate that yes, there are changes to roles. Product leaders are trying to figure this out actively. Various ones are coming to different answers to this question. We also, in taking a look at it, are coming up with our own question. But we do believe that the core strategic thinking skills that are core to product management actually make product managers' value go up in organizations.
Absolutely. I completely
Yeah.
agree.
Joe,
I'm going to jump
look,
aside.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me okay?
yes, we can.
All
Mhm.
right. So just looking for some perspective. You've spoken to a lot of different organizations and you've talked briefly about compression of roles and teams and how we imagine teams are going to be much different, right? From your perspective, um, have you encountered situations or are you hearing of teams where the PM is taking on more of a technical role where the PM is doing more coding? And when I say coding, I don't mean vibe coding. I mean, they're actually, leveraging Claude in a way that's really smart. And they're actually the ones that are going out there and they're building some of the solutions. I'm hearing whispers of this and I'm not fighting.
I think we're
Sure.
losing
We
Joe a little
we
bit,
lost your sound there, Joe.
but if I understood you, it's is there more of a are we seeing more product managers take on engineering responsibilities with AI coding? Roger, do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are seeing that trend in some places. I want to emphasize something here, though. A lot of the podcasts I'm listening to and the conversations I'm reading about are overemphasized on just software product managers, right? And all product managers can leverage AI as we've been describing, right? In software, yes, some product managers are being encouraged, write more. But I do think, and you mentioned vibe coding, Joe. I think to prototype and to do more discovery work, that's a powerful technique, and I do want product managers to lean into that. I want them to start vibe coding and being able to come up with prototypes, models to put in front of customers, ideas to share and get feedback on rapidly. Like I said, I'm jealous. It's just an awesome time to be a product manager with those kind of tools at your disposal. That's awesome. Are some companies wanting the product manager to write production grade code? I'm seeing that too. I definitely hear that going on. I question the long-term value of that, honestly, because I think you do want not only, multifunction skills in one person, but you need multiple humans with different perspectives and experiences bringing those ideas to the table. And if we get too siloed of one person doing three or four functions, you're going to lose that diversity of thought. You're going to lose those conversations. And I think that leads to not as good products in the long term. So I think there's an area that we've got to be thoughtful about. We're going to make mistakes. Companies are going to do this, and I think they'll discover it later on. I'm just trying to say, and right now, be thoughtful about this.
Yeah. Do you
Um,
see as a result of that PMs when they're not being asked to code, but they're being asked to take on more of an operational readiness or OCM because we're able to deliver more value faster? They're having to take on more of a role around adoption and getting users ready to accept that value coming in at a higher velocity. Like, do you see that being I see that being as the evolution of the role in terms of getting customers ready for this change in the way they're getting value. Are you seeing that as well from where you're talking to other customers?
Not what I that one, no, not so much to operationalize the product manager as much. I mean, in fact, we have the opposite problem where product managers are doing too much project management work and therefore don't have enough time. That's the firefighting thing. They don't have enough time to do discovery. They don't have enough time to do the strategic thinking. So I think that I have not heard that to answer your initial question, and I don't recommend it either.
Awesome. Thank
so
you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, Joe.
good to see you,
Joe,
Joe.
I'm just going to add that I think it depends on the organizational maturity that we're talking about. Most startups right now, if they're hiring, they're trying to hire for a product engineer. That's what I keep hearing in terms of the term. It's basically somebody who is more technical, like more of a technical PM. Let's just put it that way. And there's an expectation that they're going to use the coding agents to run discovery, run interviews with customers, and same day or next day ship production code. That is an expectation, but it's not true at every organization and definitely not at every maturity. But yeah, when I talk to product leaders and it's like, which of these are getting compressed? There's different opinions still. I think the key skill that a product person brings to the table that is, that is unique, I think, is that strategic thinking, but also the business mind of what is the value to the business, where there isn't always an understanding of the cost of delivering something, the cost of adding that feature and now having feature bloat, like the actual user experience aspects. So that I think again are critical skills for product managers. And with that, Sandra, I think you asked a similar question. Thank you, Joe, for asking your question. Sandra, I'm gonna ask if you want to talk and ask your question out loud, and if not, I can ask it for you. I
Welcome,
guess I
Sandra.
should have asked if you want to raise your hand. Okay. I'm going to ask it. Sandra asked, so what are some multifunctional experience or what types of experience should an engineer who wants to transition into product management need? And then I think we could tackle that and then move into some of the PM questions, PM role questions that we've had. Thank you,
Yeah, sure.
Sandra.
Yeah, great question, Sandra. So, two areas that I think are crucial that are typically areas that engineers have spent less time on, and that's why I'm going to highlight them. The first one is business thinking. I want you, an engineer needs to start getting curious about a different kind of set of problems. And I was trained as an engineer, right? My degree is in electrical engineering and computer science. So this is the transition I had to make of becoming curious about business problems. Now let's think about what are the outcomes our customers want to accomplish, which engineers do think about, but now they need to think about it more in depth, thinking about, is this going to be a viable business model for our business? Is this going to be something where we add so much value to the customer's life that they pay for it? How do I get them to want to pay more for more value? Looking at forecasting of markets, understanding the size of a market, picking which market is actually the one we should go after next, not because it seems like a fun technology problem to tackle, but because there's enough of the people that want that product and we're willing to pay for it out there to make that an attractive segment, to make that a business worth us pursuing. So the first area is you've got to get better at business thinking, cracking and understanding of business problems. And then the second one I would say is discovery, all the techniques that you need to better go get that information. And it's multifunctional in terms of the kinds of research. Yeah, you need to do quantitative and qualitative research in terms of understanding markets and segmentation, like I was just describing, but also how do I get at the feelings of my customers? How do I conduct an interview? How do I spend time maybe even formulating a focus group? How do I conduct a survey? And there's folks out there that help with these things. I'm not saying a product manager becomes an expert researcher, but you've got, as a product manager, to build that understanding of what are the research tools out there that I can use to get the information to then be able to build a really good business case, right? So in recap, the first two areas I think typically for an engineer are business questions and business understanding, and then discovery techniques.
Roger, I think you basically hit it nail on the head. So yeah, so Sandra, typically with engineers, since your world is like the product market fit triad that we talk about is more about the feasibility question. The two questions that product managers need to answer is it valuable and is it viable? So from a business standpoint, like the value question really is answered by your users, and the viable question is usually answered by does your business model support it? And if you are able to execute it, is it profitable and things like that. So again, so you understand the feasibility really well. You need to understand value and viability.
Right.
Okay. So I saw my fellow Austinite here, Amina Rose, asked us a question. And so I want to ask her question out loud. And Amina, if you want to come on and give us some more context, please raise your hand. I'm not going to put you on the spot. My bad, Sandra. But Amina Rose asked, in terms of product management, like what are the traits companies are looking for in a successful product manager? That's the question here. Amina, thank you for asking it. I don't see your hand raised, so we're going to answer that question as is. Roger, so what are companies looking for in a successful product manager?
So yeah, it is, AI is a key thing right now. It's definitely one of the top things. I mean, there's actually now interviews where they want you to come with
Roger,
already
I think we
have,
lost you for a second. I don't know if it was me.
I
Was it
don't,
me?
I don't know.
Okay, it might be me. So keep going. Sorry about that.
Can others in chat just make sure
No, I
you
can hear you now.
again, you can hear me now. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, they're asking for AI skills, of course, right? That's a given. But they are also looking for the way you think, right? They're looking for critical thinking skills. That's always been a critical thing. And when I was a hiring manager for 20 years, I didn't want short answers of, well, what tool would you use for what tool would you use for this? I love to give people scenarios and see how they think. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for critical thinking skills. I'm looking for creativity. I'm looking for the ability to be curious, right? I love a product manager who is curious, who wants to walk through the world always asking questions, because those are the kinds of skills, and even more so now with AI, that are becoming critical, right? I keep using the word critical and critical thinking, but yeah, it is important to be a good critical thinker, to be curious, to for any problem they come across, they may not know how to solve that problem when they first see it, but can they work their way through it? Can they break it down, figure out how to tackle each piece of it, and then be able to go after it? And to the earlier answer we just gave, product market fit. Great product managers are thinking holistically about, is this a valuable service or product? Is it feasible for us to build it? And is it viable? And viability is not just, can I turn a profit on the first version, but can I make this a 10 or 20-year long product? Am I willing to sign up for that long-term support? Am I willing to, and can I see a lifetime value that stretches into the decades, right? It's that kind of long range thinking as well that becomes important as you're evaluating product market fit, particularly viability. So, in summary, right? Critical thinker, curious, able to decompose problems, and considering product market fit. Is it valuable? Is it feasible for us to make it? Is it long-term viable in terms of both short-term profit, but long-term really a viable product line that will be valuable for our customers and for ourselves? Those are kind of the critical things. I hope that helps.
So I'm going to add, and I'm going to bring a couple of various data points. So in terms of skills, so we actually run a skills benchmark. We're going to be releasing, I think, the 2026 skills benchmark this year.
Nice.
And repeatedly, what we look at with the skills benchmark is not just what are skills that product managers excel at, but also what is a promotion path to director.
Hmm.
And repeatedly, what we find is that directors score much higher on elements of competitive analysis, pricing, and end of life than earlier career product managers. And so these are, I think, very strategic points of types of decisions that a product manager might need to make in terms of their product. But in terms of answering or like how do we get to good decisions for product manage for our product in product management, the other point that I like to make, and I've heard this also, Roger, I like to steal your phrase here, but shift left, and that refers to
Mhm.
our product side blueprint, which essentially shift left means you need to shift more into the earlier parts of the product management process around discovery and investigation, really understanding the problem. And that's because most of the time, even though we see the problem show up after execution, after launch, right? A lot of times that's a really expensive mistake.
Yeah.
When you've launched a product and nobody wants to buy it or adopt it, that it happens very frequently. And that represents, well, I used to say years of someone's career. Now maybe it might only represent months of
Yeah.
someone's career, but it's a lot of time. It's a lot of resources. There's an opportunity cost to it. So getting clarity up front, investigating problems deeply with the discovery that Roger is talking about, really understanding that, I think, is going to be what sets great product managers apart, and reduces their chance of shipping the wrong thing, which leaders really don't like. They really don't like.
No one likes, right? Trust me, I've been along for that ride. It's no fun, right?
Great. Well, I have another one here about from Satya.
Yeah.
And it is, I want to ask this question, and it is how much of product management is just mastering project management? And Satya, I see you're here. If you want to maybe add to your question, do you want to raise your hand? Or I'm going to allow you to talk and you can unmute yourself if you so want. And if not, we'll kind of bring you back down to the audience. So, again, the question is how much of product management is just mastering project management? And
So,
while Satya decides, I will say a personal joke to you, Roger.
oh no.
Before I became, very understanding of product management, I'm pretty sure I called it project management at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Early, because I didn't know what the difference was. And now, whenever I hear somebody say project management, it's like nails on chalkboard, right? You hear it, you're like, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's the wrong term.
Yes.
So,
Many a cocktail conversation has been, oh yeah, I'm a product manager. Oh, that's great. My brother-in-law's a project manager. I'm like,
exactly.
no, that's not
No,
that's not what we do, right?
yes, but and Satya,
But
thank you. We'll kind of lead you back to the audience, but thank you for the question. So, Roger, is it just mastering project management?
no,
Honest
it's
answer.
not. It's not, right? Now, does having some project management skills make you a more effective product manager? Yes, because you are leading a team of folks that don't report to you, right? So one of the key things about product management is you have to lead without conferred authority. You have to create your own inferred authority, becoming a market expert, and then also corralling a team to want to follow you to build the product, to want to work with you as a whole product team. And that's where some project management skills are valuable. Can you build out a plan, a map for who needs to be involved when? If you get a project manager to help you, that's gold, right? Because then they can handle most of that for you, which is fantastic. But oftentimes product managers don't. So having a good modicum of project management capability is valuable in terms of managing the stakeholder group, in terms of managing the product team, right? That can be valuable. But the best places, the best companies that we work have a PMO office, like a program management office, have project managers that do help with those tasks, freeing the product manager to do what Rena was just saying, shift left. Spend more time on discovery, less time on execution, more time on strategic thinking. And I hope, Satya, the answers to some of the earlier questions also help you understand that there's so much more to what a product manager needs to be doing, that the less time they spend on project management, the better off they'll be and more effective they'll be as a product manager. So I hope that helps.
So I'm going to voice something that I think is a real challenge for a lot of product managers. And that is that when leaders talk to you, oftentimes they are asking you project management questions. Is it on time? Is it on budget? And they are not necessarily asking you the why questions that are the
Mhm.
more important ones to ask. Well, why are we doing this in the first place? And what are we expecting to get out of it? But to
Better
be
questions.
perfectly honest, if you're only answering the project management questions in the short term, your leaders might think so. There, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
issue. Your leaders might think you know what you're doing, but if you ship something and again it doesn't land, then you're going to be stuck saying, I don't. You're going to be stuck as a person who might not know what they're really doing, and answering the why questions is the hard part of product management.
Yeah.
And they're so important, right? Because nobody else in the organization could do it for you. That's why
Mm-hmm.
discovery is so valuable, is because it's context gathering. Like we're talking about AI, it needs context to make any kind of sense back to you. So do you as a human. You also need to process a lot of information, and that means talking to more than one customer a week, in my opinion. Um,
Absolutely.
but you need to process a lot of information, various information, in order to come up with good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And that the more you do that, the more closer you are to answering the why we're doing this and what do we want to get out of it. And the easier the project management and execution part should be. All right, I see Paul
Uh-huh.
has raised his hand. All right, Paul, let's go. Please ask your question.
Okay. Hello. I don't know. My camera's not on, is it? Let me see. How do I put my camera on? Can you hear me
We
first
can
of all?
hear
Yes, we can hear
you.
you.
Yeah,
Go
great
ahead.
stuff.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I see. Okay. Why don't you ask your question? I see it in the chat.
Well, we could hear you. Now we can't.
Undo whatever you just did.
Right. Whatever you changed. Okay. Now say something, Paul. All right. Not hearing you. Okay. Let me read it then. So, can a product manager succeed in a company that doesn't really yet get the PM role? Well, I'm gonna give you kind of
Oh,
a
sorry.
two-part.
Yes. Sorry, I'm back now.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hi.
Okay,
Sorry.
good.
Yes, exactly. They don't really. I'm not saying my company doesn't get it, but I think they they probably don't get it in the conventional sense. So they have historically viewed it as more of a sales support role, shall I say?
Mhm.
And but I think there's an understanding that they need more input from more customers, and they need that role to kind of evolve a bit. And I think they're willing to, but it's how to convince um, or how can a product manager be successful in an environment where they don't fully get the PM role at this moment in time? How to shift the thinking, and is this a common problem?
Yes, absolutely. So,
Sorry.
just to
I didn't mean
shift.
to laugh, but it is a common problem.
It is.
Roger,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So you want to shift this perspective. You even talked about it
Yes,
as being an
yes,
order taker. Instead of being an order taker, how do you become a holistic thinker about a business? Right. And so product managers, I hate this expression, but I'll explain in a moment. Product managers should operate as a mini CEO. They really should be thinking about all three aspects of product market fit. I'm not going to go over them again, but we talked about those earlier, right?
yeah,
That's what differentiates a product manager from a project manager or from an order taker is that holistic view. And the more you can explain that to folks by saying, look, I'm looking at long-term viability, I'm looking at profitability, I'm looking at fit for this kind of a product line with what we do and what we're great at this company. I'm looking at the customer's need. I'm making sure the customer actually wants this. It's not just an order I'm taking, but if I fulfill this need, can I solve not that one customer's problem, but thousands of customers that have that same problem, right? Those are the kinds of questions. And if you're at an organization where when you have that conversation and the light bulbs go on, yes, you're on your way, right? But I'll be honest, I have been in a couple of organizations where they didn't get it. And after a few months, I could tell they were never going to get it, and I left. I want to be honest with all of you who are listening today. There can be that circumstance, and I have done
yeah,
that, right?
yeah, yeah,
So you got
yeah.
to figure that out. Are they open? Are they listening? Can they elevate their thinking about you to be more than an order taker, to be a business leader? Because really, product managers are business leaders, right?
Yes, I almost feel like it's a case that you have to demonstrate success
Yes.
by in an environment where they don't get it, and once you get some traction, you actually show that thinking and working in a certain way can deliver progress or results. Then you'll get some traction. But I think yeah, I think that's the sort of situation I think I kind of find myself in some
Good.
ways.
Good. Yeah. So,
So,
like you said, demonstrate success, but demonstrate results. Not
Yes.
to Rina's earlier point, yeah, the product shipped on time. Yeah, we did it under budget, right? Those are important, but those are not critical to the success of the product. They are parts of what make the product valuable, but actually delivering results is what matters at the end of the day. Great
Yep.
question. Thanks,
Thank you
Paul.
very much. Cheers. Thanks.
sure, Paul.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Thank you for the
Cheers.
question. And I do also want to just chime in that I have not seen, and this is true, I don't think most, even like the larger consulting organizations, have seen a successful transformation of actually changing how like an organization operates without leadership buy-in. And that's why when we work with an organization, one of the first steps, especially when we're tackling a larger scale organization or one that's like very low on maturity,
Mhm.
is what we call like the critical importance of product management, which is a short workshop which we run with leaders. And that
Yeah.
should always be the first step in that kind of organization, because we need to get them on board and really wanting the change. Because as you just said, Paul, like sales is used to being the boss in the room, and they're
Hmm.
not going to feel like the boss if you're making the decisions that conflict with what they want in the short term. And
Right.
sales are tend to be short term because that's how they are compensated. Whereas a company has to also understand and protect the long term, and that's the job of the product manager. So there is a healthy tension there, but without leadership support, you're just going to get overruled over and over again when you're trying to go for the long term, and you're going to be told no, do what they told you to do. Then it's not going to work.
Yeah. No, really good points. Absolutely. Getting buy-in at the top, getting an understanding at the top of the value that a great enabled product management organization can bring to their company is crucial.
Exactly. All right. I think we got a few career transition questions.
Hmm.
I see Dare's here. Actually, Dare, I'm going to allow you to talk, but again, if you don't want to, just don't unmute yourself. I'm not putting you on the spot. But I want to ask your question here, and so let us know if you want to add to it. But you're currently re-entering product management space after a 3-year career break. How can you best leverage previous product management experience in today's market? Any advice on navigating the transition? Dari, and I hope I'm saying your name right. But if you want to unmute and add to it, you're more than welcome. And if not, stay silent or you're going to cover it. We'll give you like maybe a couple seconds to make that
Hmm.
decision. But again, re-entering product management after a 3-year
Yeah.
career break, how can one leverage previous product management experience?
Right. So
All right.
welcome back, Dare. I'm
Yeah.
excited that you want to get back into it. I'm hoping that you have a lot of fun. I'm going to say two things here, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same. And that is critical thinking, right? In all your interviews, demonstrate that you are thinking about the business problem, right? Demonstrate that you're thinking about product market fit. Demonstrate curiosity. All of those things that you have, I suspect, having been in PM before, make those upfront, right? Demonstrate that you are a critical thinker, which is more valuable than anything right now in this era of AI. But yes, 3 years, wow, the world has changed dramatically, right? So uh, while all the critical thinking skills, the curiosity, the product market fit, inquisitiveness, the desire to run a business are crucial, also bring to the table that you've been playing with AI and that you are able to use AI effectively day one. So this is where get a Claude license, a ChatGPT license, whatever, and just start playing, right? Either to do some research, like you can use it to research the customer or the company that you want to go to work for. And hell, have it uncover some maybe even uncomfortable questions to ask them during the interview. Well, what about what's going on here? What about that technology disruption? What about this new regulation? How is it going to affect you? Demonstrate that you've done your homework. That's also one of the crazy things, when as a 20-year hirer of product managers, I was shocked at how unprepared some people would come to their interviews. And these days, there's no excuse. 10 minutes with an AI, and you can be way smarter about the potential customer that you want to go to work for, the company you want to go to work for. There's no excuse, right? So demonstrate that curiosity by having applied AI and start playing. Vibe code, create an agent, do a few things, and pick a problem that you want to solve that maybe you want to solve in your personal life, right? There's lots of ways AI can help your personal life. They're amazing, actually, tools. I'm just starting to use it more and more to help me be more organized in my personal life. Do some of those things. So those two things, right? Bring those skills and demonstrate them that you're a business leader. And two, definitely come AI ready.
So I do want to add that be strategic with your hiring process, because you need to pass a couple filters, right? With a 3-year career break, which
Mm.
many people take for various reasons,
Hmm.
um, I'm just being straightforward. It doesn't always look good on a resume, right? Because it becomes like a risk of does this person understand today's needs? Exactly like what Roger is saying. Like, if they obviously haven't used AI in a work setting, these just like risk questions can unfortunately filter you out. And I hate it. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
So you also need to think about strategically, like how do you position yourself? And with resumes, is your first filter. I would say try to find some kind of project-based work. Maybe there's like
Oh, yeah.
contracting on Upwork or
Hmm.
something else that you
Yep.
could do
Good suggestion.
that kind of like shows you are, have something recent that lowers that risk of that person who's trying to filter your resume quickly, and it
Hmm.
just populates some experience. I think people on LinkedIn also, I've been seeing people just put, their names as if they're working like for themselves. That sometimes can help just so that you don't get caught in that filter.
Right.
And then, as Roger was saying, do definitely. You have to, like, the role has changed. You can. I see a lot of career transitioners and people coming back, taking courses. Like we have our AI course, which will help speed that up for you if that's something that if you can do. But if you can't, there's a lot of content out there. Like I said at the start, you can learn how to do things pretty quickly off of a
Hmm.
YouTube video, and that's a good place to start, obviously.
Right. Absolutely. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
All
All right.
right.
We've only got a few minutes left. Should I go back to a couple of slides there at the end?
Yeah, we could do that. Or do you want to take this as like a maybe like a lightning round
Oh, yeah.
one? I
Sure.
saw Sandra asked this other question here that I don't have no idea how to answer, but I thought it was funny, so I not funny, but like interesting. I haven't personally thought about the answer for this, but what is the type of personality that's best suited for a product manager role? Do you want to maybe think about that one?
Curiosity. Curious. Curiosity is such an important trait. That's going to be my quick lightning round answer.
I would think growth mindset, like
Yeah, certainly.
growth mindset.
Hmm.
That I think is important. All right.
Definitely.
Well, thank you all for coming and joining and spending an hour with us on this Wednesday, and for asking your questions. I hope we were able to give you just a couple nuggets. Please feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. Rina, Alexin, Roger Snyder. I think I don't know, Roger, if there's other Roger Snyders, but we might be the only ones on LinkedIn. Um, and if you have more questions that you didn't feel like this was a safe enough space for you to ask, feel free to just ping us online. And for those of you who are interested, I did mention one fast way to get upskilled is by taking a course. And we really thought, like, what do companies want out of great product managers? We thought about AI a lot. Like, we've been definitely thinking a lot about what are the necessary AI skills. It's in both our optimal product management, which is an end-to-end class covering just about everything a great product manager needs to know. This is our syllabus. You can download it using the QR code or the link.
Hmm.
And can you keep going? Oh
Yep.
yeah, Austin. So if you are located in Austin, we are having our next in-person class here in Austin. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be taught by Tom. I'm going to uh, pop in
Oh, yay.
and say hello. I'm
That'd be
so
awesome.
excited for this. So please join us in Austin. It's happening just in a couple weeks, May 19th to the 21st.
Fantastic.
And our
All
next
right.
webinar, oh, we heard this a lot. So, not everybody is a software product manager, but even if you are or aren't, a lot of people, instead of talking about how do we grow through mergers and acquisitions,
Right.
are talking a lot about how do we drive organic growth. It's like I don't know why it was such a hot button
Hmm.
topic for a
It
lot of
is.
product. So we're like, let's make a webinar about it. And this one's going to
Hmm.
be happening in a couple weeks. And it's going to be led by Dean Peters and Kenny Kranzler, two of our great trainers
Indeed.
who
Yes.
are, all of us, all of them are fantastic, Roger, you included. Another investment expert for you guys to learn from. And additional courses that are coming up. We have a couple live online classes for optimal product management and a couple live online for AI. And
Mhm.
first time, we're going to be heading to Chicago. So I think, Roger, that one is
That's,
going to be
yeah,
you.
that's going to be me. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. Great
Hey,
news.
aren't you happy we've scheduled it for August and not November?
Yes. Yes. That is a good time of year. Absolutely. I love it. That's fantastic. So, yeah, come on through. and join us either live online or in person. We would love to help you. And thank you so much for your
All
participation.
right.
Great
Hope you all learned
conversation.
something. Let's do
Yeah,
product better together. Bye, everyone.
absolutely. Great conversations, everyone. Take care.